The Colorado Avalanche appear to be in serious trouble. As you can see, the tension boiling over right here with MacKinnon after the Avalanche dropped Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs to Dallas, once again in Dallas, Texas. The Avalanche will be coming home for Game 6 and have a long 2-day break, but there are some serious issues to address on the Colorado Avalanche. Before, they had excuses in their other playoff losses. They had the excuses of, oh, well, they were injured. The captain wasn't here, and Gabriel Landeskog, but now the Avalanche are fully healthy and they still aren't playing well. Quite honestly, this could mean that Jared Bednar is on the hot seat for the Colorado Avalanche. His tenure as coach is not protected, especially with this ownership, and we're going to get into several reasons as to what's ailing the Avalanche and what could happen in the future. Now, obviously, we here at Avs Digest don't want to be too big of negative doomers. We still want to believe that the team can win, and they still have a pathway to. But as things move forward, we also have to be realistic. So, Avs Nation, let's bring right into it, and don't forget to subscribe. Right here, you'll see a playoff picture of all of the points that players that have actually scored have in this series so far. You can see guys like Logan O'Connor playing amazing, and guys like Nathan MacKinnon, despite having some lackluster play, still being amazing at producing points. So really, you're not looking at those two guys and saying that they're the problem. Everyone else has not been good enough. I mean, Lehkonen helps when he can. I think he's been robbed a little too much. Necas, you need to see a lot more from. I think he was shooting well last game, but again, didn't find the net. Druin is playing himself out of Colorado. It seems like he doesn't want to be here, and he won't be if he continues this play, especially because potentially there's a maximum of 2 games left in this series. So if the Avs end up falling out of the playoffs, it is not looking good for some players on this roster. Valeri Nichushkin, a longtime playoff producer, is looking lethargic right now, not producing well at all. Josh Manson is still playing fairly well. Charlie Coyle's production just has not been there whatsoever. And really, like I said, there is no real explanation for why the players are going lethargic. It's not like they're missing any players. It's not like they've had any bad vibes. Like Nichushkin hasn't left with his drug problem. Like that hasn't really occurred yet. And or hopefully not at all. And I love this picture just of the Bednar clone. That's such a fun, lighthearted picture because I don't want this to be all doom and gloom. But really, it's not too big of a stretch to think that if the Avalanche do lose this series, that Bednar's job could be in jeopardy. I mean, I think Drew Livingstone probably said what a lot of people were thinking. And believe me, I'm not screaming from the rooftops that they should fire Jared Bednar. But if the Avs do indeed lose this series, which I hope they don't, then it's time for the conversation of, is it time to move on from Jared Bednar? Because the shelf life could potentially have ran out. I mean, the players don't look motivated. They don't look like they're ready to play. They are starting games horribly, and Dallas has not been impressive. Dallas has no business being up 3-2 in this series, but the Avalanche in Game 2 and in Game 3 and in Game 5 have not looked good for several long stretches in those games. Just unacceptable. And that's the reason why Dallas is ahead, even though they don't deserve it at all. Up till Game 5, they only led for like a minute. I mean, really, the Avs have just had missed opportunities. That is pretty much the entire statement for the Avs for this whole series. Missed opportunities to take advantage of the game. And honestly, this is the same organization, the same ownership that fired Coach Malone from the Denver Nuggets and the GM for basically the same thing. I mean, Coach Malone had a championship 2 years ago with the Nuggets, and they said, not good enough. You're not delivering. The players aren't listening to you, and it's over. Really, anyone that says it's a stretch to fire Jared Bednar, you got to be looking at the history and really look at what has actually happened with this ownership, because it's not a far-fetched idea. I would hate it. I love Jared Bednar, but don't forget, you saw that angry image of Nathan MacKinnon earlier, and this was Jokic as well, also frustrated on the bench. And this was only 4 days before the GM and the coach were fired. So this is not an organization that likes to play. And honestly, with the new addition of Mike Sullivan hitting the open market for coaches, you're starting to see a trend of maybe bring in someone who's more accustomed to older players so they can maybe win a cup in their final years. Honestly, this is probably the worst power play series I've also seen for the Avs as well. Now, this is not on Jared Bednar. Jared Bednar does not manage the power play. That respect goes to this bald Humpty Dumpty over here next to him named Ray Bennett, our resident power play coach moron on the Colorado Avalanche. He is awful at his job. He has been awful pretty much for his entire tenure. He did win a cup with the Colorado Avalanche, although when you have talent like fully healthy, Gabe Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, as well as MacKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen, how can you possibly have a bad power play? And how can you possibly have a bad power play now with all the talent the Avs currently have? Well, Ray Bennett finds a way to be awful at his job yet again. I fully expect the Avs to walk away from him in the offseason. I don't think he's been very good. He hasn't been very good. Over time, he kind of gets bailed out when the players start doing their own thing on the power play, and then it goes back to being stale, like really stale, especially this year. Like the Avs' cold stretches on the power play have been unprecedented. So I would expect this man to get fired fairly soon. I don't want to cheer on someone getting fired, but honestly, when you're being this bad and wasting a core cup year, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for you. Look, the Avs are hanging out basically at the 12th worst power play in these playoffs. Teams like Montreal and St. Louis are beating them for quality of play of the power play in the playoffs. That is just unheard of. It is horrible. It is clearly time that there was a coaching change in that respect. And honestly, based off of the results and the stats of everything else, you look at other players like Cale Makar just having a horrible time. Cale Makar has not found the back of the net. He had a bit of a rough start. Jared Bednar even said it himself. And even though Cale Makar has looked better, it hasn't translated in points. And actually, he had another bad game. So really, when you're looking at clips like that, and when you're looking at how the top guys aren't showing up, how the players don't look like they're energized whatsoever, and all the different problems ailing, it kind of starts to become a situation where you can't blame it on injuries. You can't blame it on extenuating circumstances. Like, oh, well, the vibes were killed because this player left or this player also got injured. No, everyone's healthy. The captain is literally in the game, and he is one of the best captains in the NHL. So at what point do you have a situation, unfortunately, where you say this is a coaching issue? And really, the biggest thing that will determine what happens with the Avalanche are in these last two games. Will the team fight back, take it to a 7-game series, and if they win, they have to win the next two games or they're eliminated? Then you're looking at a situation where, okay, the haters are wrong. Because honestly, the West is wide open after this series. The second round will be played against either the Winnipeg Jets, who have a horrible playoff goalie in Connor Hellebuck. He's a great regular season goalie, horrible playoff goalie. He's flopping again. So the second round matchup is kind of a cakewalk. Or you get the St. Louis Blues. In round 3, Vegas is good, sure, but they've dropped 2 games to the Minnesota Wild. That is not the team they were in 2023. So also, you're kind of looking at a path to the Stanley Cup final where whoever wins this first round matchup with the Colorado Avalanche or the Dallas Stars will make it to the Eastern Conference final. The final, the Stanley Cup final. And from there, are you really afraid of any Eastern team? The Capitals are kind of a PDO monster. They could possibly make it, but they're not overly threatening. They had a lot of guys have abnormal shooting percentage years. They're really kind of riding a statistical anomaly of a season. Honestly, these playoffs really is shaping up, especially in the West, to be wide open for the taking of whoever wins this Central Division matchup. And the Avs have just turned away from it. And that's really unfortunate to see because you really want them to see them win a second cup for this core. This will decide a lot of what happens in the next few years. The cup window will not be open forever. It's definitely going to come down to this, and it'll be interesting to see how the team responds. I'll still hold faith until it's over, but once it's over, and if it doesn't end up the Avalanche's way, it's going to have some serious repercussions for a lot of people in the front office of the Colorado Avalanche. This has been Avs Digest. Hope you enjoyed the bit of a doomier show, Avs Nation, and hopefully we have some better news coming for you in the coming days. Have a good one.